All right, welcome back to In-Game Chat. We're going to be talking about everything that we saw at the PlayStation Showcase 2023.
Thanks, man.
Let's do it. So basically, we got over 30 games from the PlayStation Showcase, over an hour long. And I'm just going to run through not everything, but most of the games that we saw that at least kind of sparked a little bit of interest in me and maybe Rob as well. We have Ghost Runner 2. We have Fair Games from Haven Studios, Helldivers 2. Obviously, the big one here, Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake was officially shown, which was fantastic. We have a little bit of Final Fantasy 16. I was a little weird. It was a little weird seeing it again because I'm like, it's coming out next month. Why are we watching? Why are we seeing this again? You know what I mean? Another game from Square Enix, which was Foam Stars, basically ripped straight out of from Nintendo Splatoon, which was a wild take. But we have Street Fighter 6. What else do we have here?
Assassin's Creed Mirage. We saw a lot of games.
Assassin's Creed Mirage. Alan Wake 2, which is coming out October 17th. And then we have a few other titles that really grabbed my interest, Rob. Phantom Blade. Is it Phantom Blade Zero? I think it's called.
I think it was Phantom Blade Zero, which was pretty insane. That was like a new IP that wasn't shown before. And I think literally, if you watch our live stream, we're just like, our mind are being blown. Like the stuff you can do. Think of like a really high paced action game, but almost like a Souls feel, but like, it's just like super sped up Souls.
It gave me like Bloodborne and Ghost of Tsushima is what I said on the stream.
Yes. And even like Ninja Gaiden 2, where like how quickly you're moving and stuff like it was. There was a lot going on with that game. It's Chinese based, which is really cool. So that's where it's going to take place. Dogma 2. I know there's a lot of fans of Dragon's Dogma, so that was a pretty big deal for them from Capcom. There's
and then we got a couple other things. Marathon from Bungie, which apparently Marathon is a older title that they're kind of bringing back from the grave, something that they started before Halo, which is interesting. Did not know that. And then obviously we got some other titles that are kind of more of like the games as a service that Sony was talking about. I mentioned already, Fair Games from Haven Studios. Ascendant Studios also is making a game called Immortals of Avium. Avium, is it?
Yeah.
So that was another kind of like a PvE kind of type of game, or PvP type of game, sorry. And then obviously the big major one, which is their last title that they showed, was Spider-Man 2, which is still coming in the fall of 2023. So again, tons of titles here that we didn't even go over right now, but let's kind of go through what you thought were kind of like the highlights of the showcase, and then we'll kind of like bring back some of the titles that we missed.
So I think the number one title that me and you were looking forward to being shown, and it was heavily rumored, was Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta.
Yes.
Which is weird that they're naming it Delta versus just calling it a remake. It's pretty interesting. And if you watch our live stream, it was actually really funny. At the beginning of the trailer, I'm like, this is Metal Gear Solid 3. And Kelvin's like, wait, no. And I'm like, it's a jungle. Like, it's going to be it. And there's so many little tiny snippets in the trailer, like little like Easter eggs. So one giveaway was the snake itself. The snake coming out to eat the alligator. So snake eater. And one small detail, Kelvin, do you know the parrot that is on the end back?
Everything after watching that show, or after watching that episode, the trailer, I was like, I missed it. I'm a fake fan. I didn't notice any of these things. I was just looking at this title. I'm like, it's another like CGI trailer, which I'll get to it a little bit, which is one of my critiques of the showcase. But another CGI trailer, like it does, like, what is this? Is this like, am I like playing a snake, or am I playing different types of animals in the jungle? Like, what is this? But yeah, sure enough, you were right. Rob, you watched it with me. We were there. We both were there watching it. I just want to get your impressions. What did you think of the showcase?
Right off the jump, Sony hyped this up quite a bit. There was a lot of hype going into this showcase.
Did Sony hype it up, or did us as gamers hype it up?
That is a very good point. I think it was a mix of both. I think it was a mix of both. I mean, Sony made it seem like it was this big deal where it's like, we're going to show you some crazy games. It's going to be over an hour long. But ultimately, it is the gamers end up being disappointed if what they want to see is not being shown. So they immediately get disappointed. But
I think this is the thing, and I'm just going to get straight to the chase here. The PlayStation Showcase was more so of a letdown for me than I think it was for you. And the reason being, it's not like that we hyped this up. It's more so of like it was time for Sony to really push the envelope and show us their lineup for 2023 and 2024, right? And so when you are completely silent for almost 2 years, right? Because this is the first showcase in almost 2 years. I think the last time we had a showcase was September 2021. And so, and as we know, showcases are the big heavy hitters where they show their AAA first party titles. This lacked exactly that. This lacked first party titles, you know? And so, although there were some that were there sprinkled around, a lot of them didn't really have anything to show. It was just more so CGI trailer, and more CGI trailers. We didn't really get a full blown look at what Sony has in store for us for 2023 and 2024. And we still have, I tweeted on this as well. I came into the showcase not knowing what Sony's first party titles are doing. I still came out of that showcase not knowing what Sony's first party titles are doing because they didn't really show a lot of their studios.
Right.
And like, that was my biggest gripe.